So I've been running my GoHighLevel agency for over a year now, and after building over 100 websites at this point, I'm going to show you how to become a pro designer in GoHighLevel. I'm going to show you the 5 key sections you must know how to build from easiest to hardest. Let's get started. Okay, so the first section I'm going to show you how to build is the header. So this is where the website begins. So I'm going to go here, add a new element, full section, full width, and I'm going to do 2 columns. I'm going to show you in just a second why. First element I'm going to add is going to be a navigation menu right here, and I'm going to change the logo in just a second. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click here and I'm going to scroll down, and we're going to change this to be a logo. So I'm going to scroll down. Here's where the logo goes. Now what I would recommend is remove the height, because it's going to distort the image. It's going to look very weird, and I'm going to go and add my logo, which I've already have it right here, and I'm just going to add my logo right here. So this is what it looks like. It looks a tiny bit small, so I'm going to make it slightly bigger. And now that it looks bigger, I'm going to show you what this looks like. So this is how it's looking. Next thing I'm going to do is, a lot of times you'll need a button to get started, to log in or check out our services or book a call, just a call to action. So I'm going to go here, add a new element, and this is going to be a button. Okay, so this is going to be right here. The color looks green, but I'm going to make this black. So background color, I'm going to turn this into black, and I'm going to change this button, instead of being square, to be round edges. So I'm going to go to advanced, I'm going to scroll down, full border, and then I'm just going to do border color transparent, but I'm going to do 25. Actually, let's just do slightly less. It's going to be 15. Now the next thing I'm going to do is change this to be different type of text. So if I scroll down, then here's where you would update the text. Let's just say start now. Okay, so this is what it looks like, but I do want to change the spacing between these words right here. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to scroll here where it says menu space item, and I'm just going to give them a bit more space in between each word. Let's just call it 30 for now. Looks a bit better, and I'm going to center this. And the next thing I want to do is duplicate this one more time, because I want to have 2 buttons side by side. So this one is just going to be transparent, and then the text is going to be black instead. And that's how I create a super quick header. That's it. Very simple. Let's move on to the next section. Okay, so the next section I'm going to show you is how to create an awesome hero section. Hero section is the first thing someone's going to see when they land on your website, so it's really important. I'm going to show you how to create this quick hero section. So what I did is I created a new section, full width, full row, and I just added 1 column. We're going to have everything centered in the middle. Next thing we're going to do is add a headline, and I've already added this, and I made it quite big, like 90 size. And if you go here, it's just going to be a headline, but I just made it way bigger. And then you would add a sub headline. So if I go here, we could add a sub headline and then change the color to be like slightly lighter than black, just so there's a bit of hierarchy between these 2 elements. Now the next thing I did is added a CTA, a button to start now, and the easiest way to do this is by cloning one of your existing buttons. So if I hit here, you can just clone it and drag and drop wherever you want. The next thing I did is added a cool graphic. A lot of hero sections have something visual, something that captures your attention. So I'm going to go here, add a new element, and it's going to be an image. And then I'm just going to upload one of my graphics that I already have here ready, and it's looking pretty clean. I'm going to hit save, and then the next thing I'm going to do is add a bit of color, a bit of like a background color that makes it pop. I have this like blue to white gradient that is just going to make it look nicer. So I'm going to add it here. So instead of changing like the background color like you could, but I'm going to keep it transparent and just add a photo. So this photo is this background color that I already have here, and I'm going to replace it on both sections. So this is kind of what it's going to look like. Okay, so the next section I'm going to show you how to build is going to be the services or features section. Every website has one of these. So either if you're an agency, you're offering your services, or if you're a SaaS agency and you're offering the features of GoHighLevel. Let me show you how I would build it. Okay, so let's go back to the editor, and I'm going to add a new section, full width, full row, and I'm going to have 2 columns. Typically what I do is have some text on one side and then some image or graphic on the other side. For this one, let's just do a graphic. So I'm going to add a photo right here, and then I already have some graphics here, so I can just add one real quick. I'm gonna go here, and then let's just add one of these ones right here. Let's say it was this one right here. And for this one, I wanted to add that same color, keep that same style that we have going on, but I don't want it to be full parallax. So see how the background changes as I scroll? I want it to be fixed. So to do that, I'm gonna change this to full center. That's what it looks like now. So for this one, I don't want it to have those very sharp corners. I want it to be more of a round corner. So to do that, I have to change the border option. So I'm gonna go to advanced, and I'm gonna do full border, and then I'm gonna do color. It's gonna be transparent, but the border radius is gonna be 25. So we're gonna get those slightly rounded corners that you'll notice right here. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do is add headline, sub headline, and a bit of text. So an easy way to do this is just clone something that you already have. So I can clone this, make it way smaller. So let's just call it like 30. then just drag it down here. You know, I'm just coming up with random copy as I'm making this video, but I'm gonna do something is I want to bring the text up. So to do this, I'm going to click on the purple section. I'm going to scroll down, and instead of doing center alignment, I'm going to do left. And what that's going to do is bring everything to the top. I do have a sub headline right here, so I can just clone it. And then the same thing, we can just drag and drop. Okay, so I just came up with like a random copy for this text, but it would look something like this. Now that looks pretty clean. Something you might want to do is add something on top, like an icon or something like that. So I'm going to show you a way to do this. So one way you could do this is just clone this and then bring it up here. And then what I'm going to do is just delete everything, just add a quick icon. So let's just say, since it's something related to payments, I could do something like cash. And then I'm just going to use one of these. So let's just say it was this one right here. And then I feel like there's too much space in between these two elements. So I'm going to click on this one and remove some of the padding. Okay, so now let's just preview what that would look like. So I think it looks pretty clean. It has a cool effect going on with the gradients, the box, the payments, all that kind of stuff. So it looks pretty clean. Now, another cool trick that I can show you, if you have multiple features or services that you want to do back to back, the easiest way to do this is to clone the entire section and just switch the order. So you could have two of these back to back. Then we're going to hover over the purple section and just swap the order. Now we have two sections. If you wanted, you could give a bit more padding, of course. Like let's just say there was like 40 or 60 spacing in between these two elements to give them a bit more space. And then you can just change the copy. Okay, so now it makes sense. We have the headline up here, which is introducing the features. We have the first feature and we have the second feature. Even though this website is looking really clean, to make it even better, I'm going to add a bit of code to animate these images when I hover. And that's just going to take your website from a 9 to a 10 out of 10. So I'm going to go to the Notion board that I created with my brother. And this is where we have all of our code tutorials for GoHighLevel. So I'm going to click on the very first tutorial, which is how to make images bigger when you hover over them. The first thing I'm going to do is copy paste this piece of code. I'm going to go back to the GoHighLevel editor. I'm going to go to custom CSS and I'm going to paste this right here. I'm going to remember to copy this code right here. There's going to be a tag. So this tag we're going to add onto the photos. And I'm going to click on the actual photo. I'm going to go to advanced, scroll down, and then I'm going to add this as a custom class. There we go. Okay, so let me show you what that looks like. So if I preview, you'll notice that when I hover on the image, it zooms in, and we'll do that with all the photos as well. So that looks awesome, and this section is done. Okay, so next section I want to show you is how to create a bento style section. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to add a 2-row column. Next thing I'm going to do is make the corners round. So I'm going to go to advanced. I'm going to do full border one more time. I'm going to change the color to be transparent, same as the other features that I showed you before. And then I'm going to make the radius just 25. So what I'm going to do is add a headline, sub headline, and then a cool photo for each section. So I'm just going to clone this and then bring it down again just to make my life easier. And then I'm just going to add my image, of course. And this is one. I'm just going to use one of the other ones that I've already used, and this is what it's going to look like. I'm going to make it way smaller. There we go. And I'm going to align it to the left hand side as well. So this is what this one looks like. And if I wanted to change the column and the sizing, like I could do that as well. For this one, let's say I just wanted to have a cool graphic. So what I could do is just duplicate this and then slide it over on this side, change the alignment, and then just make it bigger. So let's just say it was something like 500. There we go. And then let's just swap the photo. I'm going to use one of the other ones I've already used, but you could do something like this. And now this section is looking pretty clean. So if I scroll down, now you'll see the bento section, and I think it looks awesome. So you have different sections. Of course, you would have different type of graphics, different copy, but just to build it very quickly for you guys, this is what it looks like. I'm gonna add something that's gonna make it slightly better, and this is gonna be a bit of code. So to make this section even more animated, have a better user experience, I'm gonna go to the Notion doc and I'm gonna add a bit of code. So in our Notion doc, this is gonna be tutorial 2.8, which is gonna be how to add a focus blur on hover effect. So step one is I'm gonna tag the card. So I'm gonna copy this tag, blur effect card. I'm gonna go back to the editor. So I'm gonna click on the purple section, the column section. I'm gonna go to advanced and I'm gonna tag this as blur effect card. I'm gonna do this with all of them. And step two is I'm gonna tag the container. So what is holding the cards, which is the bento box. So I'm gonna copy this tag, blur effect container. I'm gonna go back and tag that section. So I'm gonna go to advanced and I'm gonna add my custom class and I'm gonna hit save. And then for step three, I'm just gonna copy paste this entire piece of code. I'm gonna go back to the editor, custom CSS, add a bit of space, and then I'm gonna paste it again. Okay, so when I hover on the section, you'll see that it looks just the same same, but when I hover on an element, the other three kind of hide, and it just has like a really cooler experience if you wanted to add something even more animated. But there it is. That's how I built these 5 sections and made this website look super clean. And if you're wondering about the Notion doc and all of the other tutorials that you can get of how you can add custom effects, custom code to your website without knowing how to code, check it out. It's in the first link in bio.